Metalmouth Media here with Bill Arsenault from Metalworks and Doom Machine. Let's start with Doom Machine because you have two awesome projects going on here. We'll start with Doom Machine. What's going on with you guys these days? Are you guys working on any new material or anything like that?
Actually, right after we finish Metalfest, we're going to be starting to record our second full-length album. And it's going to be quite interesting. It's going to be actually a concept album. So it's, so we got 12 songs ready to record. But yeah, I mean, I'm also already working on the third album for writing. So I like to stay ahead in case I get writer's block. So.
Yeah, you don't get much writer's block. That's pretty impressive. You're saying it's going to be a concept album.
Yeah.
There goes the question, what motivates you to write songs like lyrically? Some people it's like politics and some people it's like partying or whatever. So anything in particular, especially it's going to be a concept album?
Yeah. Well, for us, and for me in particular, it's depends on the album. Like the first album, there was a lot of lashing out at individuals, maybe not necessarily specific individuals, but just stuff I was seeing. So I was kind of pissed off on the first album and writing stuff like that. But the second album, I was writing more about kind of the world around us and just observing the state of the world type of thing, and then a story started kind of forming on its own. So, but for me, yeah, I mean, it could be just about anything, but I mean, I'm a pretty happy guy, so I mean, I don't have to express myself, positively through the music, so that's kind of where the negative stuff tends to come through, even though we're trying to move in a little bit of a positive direction, compared to what we've done before. But yeah, it could be anything, really,
Awesome. And I don't think you guys have an official music video yet.
Not yet, but we'd really like to for the next album. We definitely want to do one.
Especially now, like it's so easy to do it yourself. Like you don't have to spend an insane amount of money, or you can even do just a live performance video just for your fans, like future fans that don't know you, to have something to look at. Kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, probably what we'll end up doing is just taking a decent HD camera and just doing like a lot of single shots, and then just an insane amount of editing later on to make it look good. But yeah, that's definitely something that we want to do for the next album. To do at least one music video would be cool.
Do you think by next year you'll have a new album?
Yeah, I mean, we're aiming for, if everything goes well, we're aiming for late spring release. Yeah, I mean, we're doing everything completely opposite of the way we did it the first album. We made a lot of mistakes and didn't have, a lot of the state-of-the-art equipment. Not that the equipment that we have now is really state-of-the-art, but it's better. So I mean, we're just, there's a lot of things later on down, in the mixing process. I was just like, no, we should have done something a different way. So we're trying a different approach for the most part. So hopefully we'll have a better product at the end, production-wise.
Will you guys be doing like the recording yourselves and everything?
Pretty much have to. But I mean,
that's what most bands are doing these days, which is, with the technology, it's possible, which is great.
And I mean, like, there's a band out our way that, they just did an EP, and they spent $6,000 on 6 songs. We have 12 songs. Do the math. I don't have 12 grand in the back of my pocket to throw out an album. But I did have a couple thousand, and what I did was, bought, really upgraded the gear, the software, and stuff like that. So, yeah, I mean, hopefully production-wise, we're going to have a much better product this time around, even though we still are doing it ourselves, and we'll mix it ourselves, and then send it out to be mastered, so.
Okay, now we're going to talk about your other project, Metalworks. So now you've been doing this for a few years, if I'm not mistaken. This is the second year anniversary, the second year of Metalfest. What a lineup, man. Your guys are making us look pretty bad here. 2 nights of epic metal. Obviously, this took some time to plan. Are you already thinking in the back of your head of the next year?
A little bit, yeah. Yeah, I'm kind of like, who can I get, you know? Basically, as soon as last year's Metalfest was done, like, as soon as I got home, I was already, like, penciling in a few names of what I wanted. And, you know, a couple bands couldn't do it, of course, but for the most part, I think we got a pretty kick-ass lineup for both nights. And it's our first night booking here at Michael's. As soon as I approached them with it, they're like, hell yeah, we'll take that one. So that was, you know, get a larger venue. And, yeah, I mean, last night was kick-ass, and I'm expecting tonight to just be insane.
Oh, yeah. Everyone's talking about last night, and I think everyone's going to come out tonight. Also, you guys are from the Valley. Is it harder to do something like that from the Valley? Obviously, there's not as many bands down there and everything.
Well, the problem is with bands down there is that they have a harder times, like, actually staying active and being together. So, and the bands are further apart. You know, I mean, there's probably only 5 or 6 metal bands in the entire valley, and I'm talking about from Windsor right through, you know, to Annapolis Royal and stuff like that I know of. Anyways, there's probably a few, like, lurking around that nobody knows about. But, yeah, it definitely, that's one of the reasons why we do so much work down here in Halifax, because, you know, there's more stable scene, I think, here. You know, down there it's a little bit hit or miss. You know, you'll have put on a show, 80 people show up, the next one, you know, 10 will show up. And you kind of can get that here, but definitely the Halifax metal scene is definitely where it's at in Nova Scotia, I think. So, I mean, that, you know, that's the reason why we do so much down here.
Also, you recruited Alicia for photography, and she's doing a phenomenal job. She's a great photographer. Love her work. Are you thinking of maybe recruiting more people in the future or anything like that? Are you going to...
Well, my recruiting process was her volunteering. So, I mean, I didn't even recruit. She, you know, like, she would kind of watch the table for us while we were playing and stuff like that at a couple shows, and she offered to, you know, do some volunteering, you know, help put up posters and stuff like that. And it was great to have a city contact where, you know, I can't come up here all the time. So, and then the photography thing, she already had a camera, got a decent lens, asked if, you know, that would be something. And that was something that I kind of wanted to do myself, like buy a camera and start taking pictures. So I was like, hey, go for it. And it ended up being better than either one of us had expected, you know. So, I mean, and now she's, you know, she just shot Lamb of God and Killswitch Engage in Toronto. She got wicked shots at the Spread the Metal Festival. So, I mean, it's just great. You know, she's got her own page, Metalworks Photography, on Facebook, where she posts the shows that aren't
put on. She's getting an insane amount of hits on that. She's doing really well for herself.
Yeah, and that page is for shows that aren't put on by Metalworks. Otherwise, it would go on ours. But, yeah, so, I mean... definitely, if anybody, you know, wants to help out, you know, we'll definitely give anybody a shot, you know. I mean, it's hard to find people that you can trust and reliable and stuff like that. But, you know, she's definitely, you know, exceeded all expectations, I should say.
And I love what you guys do. You guys are growing pretty quick. I love your Artist of the Month and all the little things you guys do. Do you plan on doing anything different this year, or do you like what's going on, just going to keep it that way?
We're going to just keep going the way we're going at the moment, you know, because it is kind of it does take a little bit of work just keeping the Artist of the Month thing consistent, because we haven't missed a month yet, and I don't plan on anytime soon. Even though like one time I had a band cancel, so I had to like really scramble at the last, like a couple days left of the month. Hey, can I interview you? Yeah, sure. So
make up a band real quick, guys.
Yeah, form one now. So. Yeah, definitely. I mean, that was just an idea that kind of just popped into my head. What if I do a featured artist? And I was planning on just doing a couple bands, and then the next thing it's just like sometimes I have bands actually asking to be featured. Hey, can we get on that sometime? So, but I mean, the plan is definitely want to interview everybody at least once, and then once I hit everybody, maybe just by then all the bands we'll have new things to talk about. Just feature them again. I don't know.
By that time, there'll be newer bands. That's the beauty of it. You'll never stop.
Yeah. There's always new bands forming, and and the great thing about down in Halifax metal scene is that when bands have members leave, they usually form other bands.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's not like people are like, I'm just tired of the music. I mean, that happens every once in a while, but. Yeah, it's never ending. But yeah, for sure, like I definitely have some ideas of things and stuff like that. So I mean, it's just a matter of putting them into practice and then seeing how well things can go. But it's a little tough doing a lot of stuff down in Halifax when you live like an hour and a half away too. So I mean, there's been times when I've arranged 2 interviews on the same day, and it was just chaos, but it worked. So.
Well, thank you for taking the time for the interview. We love everything you do, and we love your music, love your projects, so we'll keep an eye out and for your album next year. Yeah. So thanks for the interview. This is Metal Mouth Media with Bill Arsenault. Yeah!